Alright, now, we're back with some more TV shows that deserve the spotlight. And I can sure tell you that there's plenty of selections that I have gotten through for this series. And I can tell you that big month that I spent without releasing a single episode, I've definitely spent a bit more time getting to know about more of those obscured game shows. And this one in particular, hosted by the one and only Andrew WK, known as Destroy Build Destroy. It was part of a special project in the late 2000s and early 2010s by Cartoon Network, where they attempted to create live action based cartoons. In this case, we have ourselves a bit of a game show-esque series with Andrew WK hosting this particular string of events. It's a competition to where two teams compete each other for a $3,000 grand prize. They build large machines, compete together in different challenges, and have all sorts of fun while we're at it. There was all sorts of great stuff that was put together, including drivers of Monster Jam, the casts of Dude, What Would Happen and Scooby-Doo Curse of the Lake Monster, and even pro football players of the NFL. That's right. I mean, this show has definitely had it covered with a lot of different guest star appearances in the same way that The Incredible Hulk 1977 to 1982 gave us. That's probably something I probably would have mentioned at that point. But anyways though, Destroy Build Destroy is a pretty epic series. Not just for the fact that it has a rockin' guitarist being the lead of the whole series itself, but just to know the fact that Cartoon Network actually had the decency to go try their hand at some live action related series, that's certainly one of a kind. But there was another series that Cartoon Network did try to create called Dude, What Would Happen, which also made an appearance here in Destroy Build Destroy, as I said, in one particular episode. And I feel like that there's not much more to say here other than just breeze through all the episodes. And might I say, there's lots of guest star appearances, lots of which are people that you might be familiar with, unless you're not from our particular generation. But you know what? Instead of just mentioning them out loud, as I've been doing so before then, I'm just gonna breeze through them a little quickly, like so. And I suppose that pretty much covers it. Lots of competitions and lots of crazy stuff that was put together back then. Between 2009 and 2011, with 4 separate seasons taking place. You've got a lot of competition on your hands and a lot of time that you could probably kill with this series. If you're a fan of people like Andrew WK, or potentially anybody that you might recall from other such media that was around during that time, I highly recommend this series. Also, if you're a fan of obscured game shows. And there's plenty of other obscured game shows that I could talk about, like Brain Surge, for instance. Or probably even the Super Mario Challenge from the early 90s. And so, I guess those are just a couple of examples, which I might also talk about later in the series. But for now, Destroy Build Destroy is awesome. This episode was a little more simple than the rest, but I'm sure that some of you probably have checked it out as well and would also like a shot at it. So wherever you can find Destroy Build Destroy, regardless of the format, please, one viewership is at least necessary. And I'll see you guys later in the next installment of TV shows that deserve the spotlight.